Let's rock and roll.
Let's go.
All right, man. So, how we doing, people? So today's first little introduction. I got my friend here, Julan from Paris, France. Hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a young man, entrepreneur. Boxing is a very difficult game, very difficult business, and he's a young man that's trying to bridge the gap between Europe, United States, and the boxing world, and he's got an interesting story, so I'm gonna let him tell and introduce yourself.
So I'm Julan, coming from France, Paris. I've been here about like 8 years now. So I came to to turn professional in US because I started boxing in France when I was about like 17 or something. First fight at 19, got like about 8 amateur fights.
Who taught you how to box?
My trainer, Malik Ikanesh.
That's not the guy that I met at Mendes Boxing.
You met Simon.
Okay, I met Simon. Yeah.
So my first trainer, Malek, is best friend with Simon. So that's how we got the bridge between France and USA. Because Malek was, I mean, you know him, I don't even know, maybe probably like for 30 years plus now.
Mm-hmm.
And back in the days when I started boxing, they was using Skype. And you know, back in the day, Skype was a big deal. So they was like training us through Skype. Like, yeah, Simon from US would tell Malek, you have to make your fighters do that, do that, do that. And then they would fight over things. And, you know, so I always kind of learned the boxing with the American style. But it was nothing. When I came here, I realized it was nothing like it. Like, we still box the European way, very in line, like, you know, straight.
I wanna get back to that. I like that. I'm gonna hold on to that. So before you get to that, 17 years old. That's what you said. Your first fight, amateur boxing.
19. My first fight. I won the equivalent of regional tournament. And then I took a break, focus on work whatsoever. Like, I had to do things. And my trainer told me, like, I realized I didn't want to be an electrician. After like working this thing, I was like, there's no way that's what's gonna happen for me. So I decided to take boxing seriously. So I went back to the gym. It was hard, and you know, one day my trainer brought a professional that was like really good, and then we understand, okay, now it's serious. We have to take it serious. Stop the, you know, partying and things, and that's how I like dedicated to boxing, put money on the side, and come here for 1 month before moving definitely.
So you were 17 when you first got into it, or not? And
17 I was doing taekwondo and boxing, but I was confused because I wanted to fight, but I like taekwondo, martial art, but they wouldn't let me fight because it was like some sort of rich kid sport. And
taekwondo?
At the time my parents didn't have the money to pay the belt, the uniform, all of that, so I say, you know what, boxing is just need you and you, that's it, you go and you fight.
Did you play any sports before that as a kid growing up?
I was playing everything, like soccer. We played a lot of soccer. I was doing a lot of sprinting. You know.
Natural European stuff, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty good at it though. I'm pretty good at soccer, absolutely. All right, so boom, you get here, 19, you have your first fight, you make your way. How old are you when you got to the US?
I think I'm 24. Yes, something like that.
24 years old?
Yes, so I'm 32, so yeah. I was 24 when I first arrived here. We competed for the Golden Glove right away. I came here in September.
Really? And
I think January was Golden Glove. So alright, so we got that smoke right away.
But you were preparing the whole time, like
in France, yeah, of course. I was training. My trainer taught us everything like the right way. So when we came in, we was ready for the smoke.
So boom, you get right here and you get right into the gloves. Do you speak English at the time?
Like if you talk to me, I would say, haha, yeah, you know, but I would understand nothing.
So you don't speak any English, you show up and you just jump right into the fight. How does that feel? What's going through your mind? You don't speak a language, new country.
It's so much pressure. You French. People don't like you because they think you're lying. Because I was better than a guy that I've had fight. Because I've been boxing for a long time, from 17, 18 to 24. It's a lot of years, even though I've only 8 fights, you know.
So here, under 10 fights, you're a novice. Over 10 fights, you're
open.
You're open, right?
Correct.
Is it the same thing in France?
Yes.
Okay, so at the time coming over, what were you?
I was a novice.
You were a novice?
Yeah, because I had 8 fights, and it was like 4 fights 1 year, and then 4 other fights 2 years later. You know, because I took a big break in between.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And when I came here, like I had a lot of experience because I would be sparring left and right. I had a killer in my gym. He was 33. He was like at his peak, and that was my sparring partner. So I would be destroyed every day. You go back home like your jaw hurt, you know. So when I came here, I was good, but not like an 8 fighters, you know, like, and like all the referee, the crowd, like, yeah, no, he has no fight, he's open, he's lying, because I kill it. It was hard, but I killed it. Like,
and you came through, you won the gloves
right away.
How many fights?
I think 4 or 5. Like the first tournament was 5 or something.
Were they still giving the Golden Glove chain at this time?
Yeah, I got them up there. I should wear it now.
Hey man, that's
I
what I'm talking about.
I got 2 actually.
How you not rocking a chain? If you don't know, man, they changed it and they're giving out. What are they giving out now?
Rings. It's called the Ringmaster. Yeah, they mess it up.
I grew up in this city, and every kid, if you like boxing, you wanted that little gold nugget. Yeah. Nobody wants the ring.
I feel special.
Right?
Yeah, and that was the first year I came. That was the first year they were doing it at Backlash Center. So imagine, I'm from France. The biggest venue I fought in was like some gymnasium, half empty. Like, you know, there's nothing happening. And I come here. After 3 months, I'm fighting in the Backlash Center. It was like, okay, you opened my eyes. I was like, okay, that's something else.
And it's a packed event too. Yeah. It's not like it's empty. It is a
jam-packed event. You feel, I mean, I didn't feel pressure because it was a magical moment. I fell in trance. Like
you're not even there.
Yeah, I was like seeing everything. Like, I was in the Matrix, man, I'm telling you.
What was your night of sleep like right before? Do you recall that?
I was so happy. I slept so good.
You slept like a baby?
Like a baby. I was really happy because we put so much hard work with my trainer, like with Simon at the time. He pushed us to the limit, so I know I was ready. I was not afraid. The guy I was fighting was a guy from my gym. We sparred before, so I knew I got it. Easy work.
That's different.
That was bad. That was bad. He's a nice guy. I like him. You know, now we see each other, we spar and stuff.
Yeah, but you know, when you feel good, you're like, I know you. You know me really well. We know each other.
That's it. And that's why I was relaxed, getting in there, in the zone. You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I can't even understand I can't fathom that position. I haven't been in that position in my life, like not speaking a language, and yet you're dealing in the highest level of pressure. Like, if you're going to another country, you're playing basketball, you're playing a game, like, that's major pressure. But if you're going to go fight another person in their country, you don't know nobody, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it develops within a person, like, a different psychology and foundation that most people don't get to experience, you know what I mean? And so yeah, I think that's pretty beautiful. So from there, how many fights did you have as an amateur?
So I came here, I did the Golden Glove, I won it. Right after, I think it was New York tournament, I won it. Right after, I think it was the PVD tournament, I won it. And then the year after, Golden Glove again, I went to the semi-final. I can't say I lost, but that was an unfair decision because I dropped the guy, he took me with him. And we fought both and didn't get counted. That was a really close fight.
Lost by points, something like that.
They gave it to him, it's okay.
Yeah.
And then the year after, same thing, Golden Glove, New York tournament, I won it, and then turned pro.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
And so, is there a difference in the training between the amateur levels and the professional levels?
Our trainer always kind of trained us like pro.
In the pro style?
Yeah.
Okay. And now that goes back to what we were talking about before. What is the major difference between the European and the American style?
So, like I told you, in Europe, you learn everything is in line, right?
Yeah.
They don't protect the center line.
You want to be square like this?
They are. Like, you like this, hands down, and you exchange, because they kind of punch like this sometimes.
Yeah.
They don't turn the punches.
Yeah.
Like, with the shoulder, it's like, scoring. Here, it's more like from the side. Give the shoulder, protect the center line, chin is inside, and a lot of hands down. Right? They have the Philly shell. So when I came here the first time, I was like, what is that? The guy I won in the final, the first time I spar him, I was completely lost. Couldn't connect him, and like punches were coming from weird angles. Like, I was not used to that.
You never saw it before?
You used to like boom, boom, straight punches right in front of you. He was like down, up jab, weird hooks, you know. I was confused. So
yeah,
that's the difference. Like, it's really linear, everything there, super straight, you know, like Europe, they're like tall, they fight tall, but here's like inside, shoulder forward.
Yeah.
You know.
But a guy like Joe Calzaghe, he's a different type of guy. I feel like he
yeah,
had
so
that
different.
balance,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
But that's
He was
like,
that,
you know, you have it's a unique guy. It's like, you know.
He's his own,
Exactly,
he's
his own style.
person.
Like, it's like you can't say, yeah, Roy Jones is like the American style. No, he's Roy Jones.
No, yeah,
you know?
he's his own thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so now one of the things that I've learned, you know, I played baseball, I played football, I played amateur sports. I've competed as an amateur boxer. All amateur sports here in the United States, they have a system and a body, organizations to help them and develop. And even those same amateur organizations, they have professional levels to help those same athletes develop. But boxing doesn't really have that organization, that body to help athletes develop as like one whole. And so I think that's the real reason why we're here, because he has this organization, BoxingCulture, and that is what he's trying to do, unite the boxing world. And yeah, so you can talk about it.
So with BoxingCulture, so first of all, BoxingCulture came out of a small idea. At first, I was just supposed to take care of one small issue in the boxing world today, which is how to get reliable sparring partner when you need it. So that was the first issue I wanted to solve. So I was like, all right, long time ago I thought about that, and I did a Facebook group, whatever, but I was quickly enough limited by the platform because I couldn't do all the things I wanted to do. So a couple of years later, right now, I'm more like financial, you know, power. I know a little bit more about tech, and I'm developing this website. So now we have the sparring partner. I'm starting developing that sparring part to help fighter find the sparring, because, you know, it's difficult. And out of there, I was like, why don't we put trainers? You know, and then from there, why don't we put managers? And, you know, we started to add up more and more like actors in the boxing world. And then we took care of like the health specialist, all of those people. And now, while I'm doing all of this, and I'm realizing, okay, I'm doing this, but we don't have like a structure in boxing when we can find all of that, plus like how you can help a fighter to get ready to turn professional, and while his career, like accompany them through the process of a career. So that's when I came with new ideas. Okay, why don't we put available for them like legal advice, an accountant, all the things you need, because when you're a professional fighter, you're like a business, right? So as a business, you need all those like extra, you know, services.
The
right?
team, the support, you need all of that.
You need all of that. So first you start with your team, a trainer, manager, promoter if you're lucky, a cutman, conditioning trainer, a massage therapist. But if you know the big deal, you're not like, I don't know, Lomachenko, you don't have all of that available to you, right?
Nope.
Or it's going to be a lot of money. So with BoxingCulture, we get those people, those specialists, so we can have it affordable for fighters, and they don't have to look everywhere. It's right there.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing we take care of. Then, concerning the career, we want to be able to give them the support they need without them looking left and right, getting ripped off, you know, overcharged. Here, they specialize what we do. We choosing like most of the people I know is through the boxing world. So all those lawyers, like they're like somehow connecting with boxing. So that's why I say this is a platform for the boxer, by the boxer.
Absolutely.
Because like you, as a trainer, you're a trainer, but you box, so you know you're involved in the boxing world. So you know that's the same thing. Like we're gonna put you and make you available for fighters, but you know what is boxing. So that's the concept.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's a great idea, and especially this time and age, everybody connecting with social media, I think is probably the best way for everybody to connect within boxing. And it's like you said, to support the younger guys and give them an opportunity to get help. And yeah, I think that's huge, man. That's crazy, because like you said, only the top tier guys, only until you make money, Lomachenko, Lopez, only these guys are making money, the Charlos, you know what I mean, Spence, they're able to get the team. But if you're just a regular guy, how many fighters and friends do you know that work construction, work security, and then they train at night when they get home? But think about what they're doing. They're fighting, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we all love fighting. We all tune into all the fights, but we all don't support the fighters. And I think this is probably the best way.
Yeah, and the thing, like, if you want to be called like a professional, you have to be like living like one. You know what I mean? Like having taking a professional approach to your career.
110%.
And you can't be that like you were doing in the amateur. I just train and I fight. No, it's more than that, you know, because if you want to make it big, if you want to go far, you gotta have the right preparation. You have to have people that know what they're doing. You just do like random training. Oh, I read that one day that say it's good.
Absolutely.
Past a certain point, you're gonna hit the wall and say, I don't know what's wrong. What's wrong is that you're not taking the proper approach to your career, and the proper approach comes with like people that know what they're doing, that can guide you through the process of your preparation, what to eat, how much you need to sleep. You know, I know life's not easy for everybody, like you said, some people work in construction, this and that, but you have to be able to make the, you know, the adjustment in your schedule so you don't overwork and you keep doing what you like to do. And the goal of all of this is also bring awareness to the general public, because we also gonna have like classes, training camp and things like that, so we bring the general public to this vision of boxing, and we get more fans. And with more, especially for France here, boxing is not so much of a problem when it comes to fan, but in France we need more of the general public to get interested in boxing, for boxing to evolve and become kind of what it is here, you know.
Yeah, totally. So, yeah, honestly, yeah, there aren't too many. The French boxing scene isn't too big, but the European boxing scene is. So how is it that you can have like Great Britain, tremendous champions and things like that? You've got right there in Eastern Europe, you know, you've got like Lomachenko and a bunch of these guys, the Kovalevs. They're all very centered in Europe, and France is right there.
Is the
How is it? What is different in their public? What is it? Their marketing. What's different in their marketing?
It's not even the marketing; it's the financial structure. In France, boxing is like a free sport. It's when I say free sport, I mean is associative, like non-profit. Like my trainer, he has a gym. It's not his gym. It's by the city, right? The city providing with the gym so he can help the kids in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? So he's not making money. He does that out of his heart, like pure passion. He loves what he does, so he does it. He doesn't make money.
It's not his non-profit?
No.
It's not.
Yeah, no, it's his, but meaning the gym is not his, and he's not making money with it.
Yeah.
So he trained for free.
Yeah.
So that's the system in France, and all the boxers, why they don't get to the high level is because the trainers, if you know the super talented champion, they're not gonna spend time with you.
Yeah.
Because they don't make money, and they gotta, you know, you gotta put food on the table, and so that's why we gotta bring also that awareness and that new system. That here the system in Mendes, at least, where I'm trained most of my career, is you pay to access the gym. So everybody is happy. You know, you support the gym, you get a great gym, you get great trainers, you get great material, equipment, and you know, everybody's winning and moving forward, and boxing can become what it is.
Slowly but surely.
Exactly.
Everyone improves a little bit.
Yeah, but in France it's different, and just recently they started to implement the private gyms. That system, American system. So it's moving.
Okay. All right, and things like this are going to help that situation. Things like that. So this initially really started with you trying to develop the system in France, that connectivity for the country, for your people. And now that you're here, you realize that the United States needs it as well.
Yeah.
And you're bridging these two worlds.
Exactly. And I mean, every fighter I know is not a big time fighter, right? He's trying to make it happen. He's trying to, you know, like get better on his own.
Yeah.
Like he has nobody to advise him about what you're gonna make with that money, with that purse, when you're gonna make, like, okay, let's say after your 10th fight you make 35,000. What are you gonna make with that money? You know, most of the young kids that box, if they have this one opportunity where they're gonna make a sort of big purse, maybe between like up to 100,000, let's say, they don't know what they're gonna do with it, and they're gonna buy a fancy car, fancy shoes, fancy T-shirt, and the next thing you know, they have nothing left. So with Boxing Culture, we're gonna have that structure, like where you have financial advisor that, like, okay, they're not gonna take your money. They're gonna say, okay, you pay me a fee, for instance, and we work together. We guide you through your career, tell you what to do, tell you what you could do, not what to do.
Fighters, helping guide fighters through the process.
Like, here's what you should do. Maybe you should think about putting some money here and make it grow. Maybe some real estate, maybe some stock, maybe some gold, maybe some, whatever. But not spending it all into brands,
So I like that, but now, so that's for the guy who's making some money, who's making $100,000 person a fight. But we both know that's a guy. I have a few friends who are journeymen. They'll make $2,000 for a fight, $5,000 for a fight, and they'll prepare 6 months just for one night to make $2,000. How would Boxing Culture help a person like that, the journeyman trying to come up?
So same thing, doesn't matter how much money you make, we can still give you some small advice with small capital. You can make it grow for you for later. It's gonna take longer, but also what we're gonna be putting in place for them is the sparring event that we're gonna create. We're gonna create some sparring event where it's gonna be hosted by professional fighters. So if you're a professional fighter and let's say in your city there is a gym, Boxing Culture organize an event there, so everybody does his card, like a fighting card, a boxing ID. Is gonna meet in that city, and a sparring event Friday night, up to 10 person, and those 10 person, they go there, and he's the host. The professional fighter is the host. Every member pay the fee to get there, and it's for him. So we also creating new opportunity for fighters to make money, So it's gonna be a long process. We're gonna get like state by state at first. Like I'm in New York, so I'm gonna take care of New York, and in the long-term vision, that's what we want to do: be in every state and then every cities, and create those events left and right.
I like that. Tell me, break down more into it. Not the global, right here in New York boxing event. Tell me how it happens, your date, like.
All right, so think about, it's illegal now, I think, the smokers, that's what they call it. But we call it sparring event because it's not a smoker, it's not fights, it's a sparring event where like people that want to learn boxing, they come and they learn. It's not sparring right away. We're gonna go every, like, let's say we have 10 person, it's 5 group, so those 5 like sparring partners.
So this is more for professionals to teach regular people.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. They're teaching their skills as professional fighters that teach them some drills to do during the sparring. It's 1 hour, everybody's paying $35. He's making his money go.
Yeah.
So that create new opportunity, that create also a new engagement, like how you call that in English, a new attraction towards boxing, you know what I mean? Like
a new avenue, a new lane for something.
Like, and people get more interest.
Totally, absolutely. I think it's, for me, I don't know if you know, but like in Dubai, it's a part of their school curriculum for the kids to practice jiu-jitsu in class. Like, they're in elementary school, their kids are practicing jiu-jitsu. And for me, growing up boxing, I think that it's essential that all kids, all levels, should learn some form of self-defense. You know what I mean? Because I think if you're a weaker kid and you feel vulnerable, it'll teach you how to be strong. And if you're a really strong kid, you're gonna meet somebody just as strong that's gonna teach you your vulnerability. And I think it'll create a balance. So just the introduction to boxing, people participating, I think it could create like a little balance,
Yeah, that would be good. There is this also other project, but that's gonna be more long-term, and realizes it's a very complicated process to open a non-profit, an academy for young kids. This is going to be in the long term, but I want to create that thing where, like you said, we're going to bring boxing to the communities, so kids can have also not only the self-defense side, but boxing is a great school of life. When you're a boxer, you go through a lot, right?
Yes.
So it translates that discipline into your real life. So when you start something, you go towards the end, it gives you that, like, that grind, like you want to go, and discipline. And I think it's a great thing to bring the communities where kids, they don't have role model, like they don't know what to do, and they have all this extra energy and they don't know what to channel,
110%.
So in the long term,
Yeah.
that's one of my plan, is to bring boxing to community, and same thing, bring the same help that we bring to fighters but to regular kids in the street. Instead of being in the street, is like, listen, you guys gotta make it work at school, so then once you start to do this, and you teach them about managing the money or whatever, like their health, like how it's important,
man.
things like that.
Yeah, man, boxing helped me tremendously. I grew up playing all different sports, and I had a strong mindset of, I don't know, you grow up in certain places, you have a certain aggression, and boxing just taught me, like, I got my ass kicked, I kicked some ass, and I learned to level out, like, oh man, you gotta be chill. And so I think it really is the equalizer. It provides you with truth and the necessary fortitude when difficult situations arise, to know that you could, like, pump through all of it. 110%.
I like what you said, you bring the truth, like, you can't lie.
You can't lie,
with boxing,
man.
you can't lie. If you not in shape, if you're not good, the ring is gonna reveal it.
And then it's gonna so now it's gonna tell you about yourself. Like, if you're not eating good, if you're not running, if your mind is wrong and you're aggressive, like, you're not gonna think right, and things are gonna happen to you. It's gonna show you yourself.
Exactly, it's gonna humble you.
Yeah,
because
man.
you can't lie to your own self, in the ring. You can't pretend outside the ring, I'm the man, I'm the best, I'm good, and then you get in the ring with someone better than you, and you're like, oh no, I'm not.
It's gonna change. They put a gorilla in the cage, you're gonna be like, oh my God, you're gonna feel different.
Yes.
You're gonna feel different. And it provides you with truth.
Exactly.
But when you can play with a gorilla, you're like, oh man, I don't gotta be so angry, right? Like, so I think for the regular people, it's the biggest thing in the world. And I love what you're doing in terms of boxing culture for the professional fighters, to help give them a world where they could take care of themselves and their families, man. And I hope everybody who sees this and watches this, spread this to your friends and family, to fighters, all different peoples, nutritionists, physical therapists, who are osteopaths, all these different types of people, so that they can start to help build up the boxing world and other athletes, because there's a whole other world and revenue space for people to develop, if that's your interest too,
Of course, like, also the trainers, we all know trainers have big egos, like, I've been there, guys, like, I'm dealing with trainers left and right, like, when we set up sparring, it's like, it's all a mess, like, put your ego on the side, join the platform, and let's try to make boxing move forward together, like, because, and also, like, all the promoters, I know they're doing their own thing, but if they come and they're available for the little guys, maybe they're gonna find talent that they never heard of. And that's also one of the goals, is to give exposure to fighters. Like, you see, like, we don't know, we never heard about some fighters. We're gonna have, like, this platform where you can write article about them, and we're gonna expose them. And if we have trainers, manager, and promoters, that's how the platform's gonna work well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Each one teach one, takes a village. So, get with it. Boxing Culture, French Revolution, Kinetic Remedy. Stay tuned, people. We got more coming for y'all. More fighters coming soon, especially.
Yeah, that's right.
Brother, it's been a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Thank you, brother.
man.
First
Appreciate
one. Thank you.
Bye. That's cool.
Yeah, man.